I'm gonna do really quick. I started Godfall today. I finished the tutorial. I finished the tutorial boss. It's a lot more Souls-like than I thought it was going to be, than I thought they were like advertising it to be. Focus very heavily on
Sure.
parrying. Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It focuses heavily on parrying, shields, dodging. You
Right.
have like health crystals that you break, and you can renew them at certain spots. It's definitely not fully Souls-like. Like it focuses heavily on like combos and melee. I haven't, if there even is magic, I haven't gotten any yet. The most that it does for like classes are these things called Valor plates, which are basically different armor sets that focus on different things. So I just unlocked Phoenix, which is like a faster armor set than it was called the Wolf set or like the Wolf plate, which is what I was playing originally. It's it's a lot of fun. I can see why it wouldn't be a thing for everybody if you don't like hack and slash and combos and stuff, or like loot based games, because this is basically Destiny but take the guns away, and you have just like swords and shields and stuff. But it's also extremely pretty. Like this is definitely like if you want to show off the PS5 to people, you show Demon Souls and you show Godfall. Like it's incredibly beautiful and detailed, and it just like fits that weird fantasy sci-fi aesthetic that I know some people have, including me, with the whole like, oh, this is a world based around magic and different types of alien creatures, but there's also like science fiction like swords and like weapons and armor, and you never see people's actual faces. You just see them in their armor, and it just it's different. But I'm digging it a lot, and I'm open for questions.
I honestly don't have too many questions on it. I think the game, at least for me, and I think Corey had echoed the sentiment on previous episodes, it just seems, and this isn't to besmirch your enjoyment whatsoever. Your enjoyment's absolutely valid.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're having a great time with it. It seems, in the midst of a lot of unique, great games coming out, and for what else is on my backlog, it just seems a bit too generic to like garner my attention.
No,
I'm sure
and
it's like finely constructed, but I'm just like my interest in it is pretty much zero.
No, and I completely agree. And I feel like the one standout point of it is the aesthetic that it's trying to like hone, the whole like sci-fi mix with fantasy, but more leaning towards the fantasy side of it. I personally think that that's a big appeal for it, because it looks generic, but I think when you start playing it and you see how like stuff is handled lore wise, it's incredibly more interesting. And I think that's a detriment to it because it looks so generic. But once you start playing it, it's a blast, and it's a fun baby's first Souls like, because I obviously people know I don't like Souls games. I'm not a fan of them. I can never get into them.
Yeah.
But just the way that combat's handled in this, it's a very extensive tutorial that talks you through what the game. It's like, oh, you can throw your shield or you can parry with it. We recommend parrying because that leaves an opening for you to hit things. Like it's incredibly in depth with its combat, and I don't think they've shown that enough to make people more interested. And I think that's a definite like detriment to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all fair.
But it's definitely fun. I just wish it wasn't $70 because oh my god, it's $70.
It's like,
Because I think that turns a lot of people off of it.
I think as hard as I've advocated for the defense of microtransactions and being like, yeah, the economic reality is that games are cheaper than they've ever been, and games are also more expensive to produce, and they're objectively bigger than they've ever been. So economically, it makes sense for the prices to rise. But as a consumer, it's just like, fuck, I don't want to pay $70. I understand why they need to, but I don't want to.
And it's like, I'm just going to do a quick Google search really quick. Because I think the studio behind Godfall is kind of an indie studio.
Yeah.
Well, define indie though, because I've heard people refer to CDPR as indie.
No. Like Counterplay's first game is Godfall.
Oh, okay, that's different.
They're made up of like different industry people. Here, I'm on their website right now. People who've worked on Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Horizon, Diablo, Gears 5, Titanfall 2, BioShock Infinite. Like it is an indie studio. Like Godfall is made by an indie team.
I see that Godfall is published through Gearbox, but I'm not sure if
Yeah,
Gearbox owns
so
them or
Gearbox did
anything.
not work on it. I did this research earlier because I was talking to someone else about it.
Mm.
All
To make sure it's
Gearbox
clear of
did,
Randy's influence.
right? All Gearbox did was publish it. They Counterplay Games actually received funding for Godfall from I can't remember what the like funding studio is called, but they're a studio that helps fund indie games. I believe they help funded Spirit Fair as well. Like before Microsoft picked it up, they helped fund that. So literally, Godfall is an indie title, and they just got picked up by Gearbox as like a publishing deal. So Gearbox has had no hand in it. They're just publishing it. And the game also uses shipped codes as well. So like what Borderlands 3 did, but it has its own shipped codes. It's not the Borderlands.
Well, I think like, hey, I'm happy for their success, and I hope they keep going on to be able to make bigger and greater games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously the fact
Absolutely.
that an indie studio was given like made one of like the PS5's launch title, the first confirmed PS5 launch title by the way. People seem to forget that it was announced at the Game Awards like last year as like the first official PS5 title. I think they fucking killed it. Like it obviously has a thing, and I'm not that far in it, but I'm having a blast. It's beautiful, and you can tell that these talented people came from talented games, and you can see that in the world that they are slowly building, from what I can tell.
Nice.
Like it's really nice, and I'm really excited to keep playing it, and I'm just really excited to actually test out the co-op feature in it too, because the game also has 3-person co-op, I think.
Right.
So,
yeah.
but yeah, it's really good, and I hope more people give it a shot. I hope it goes on sale for like Cyber Monday, hopefully. I don't know, or like PSN. But,
It was definitely a game I wanted to play like later.
I mean, personally, I would wait till it's like $60 or $50 if you're not like hella sold on it. Just because I would totally understand not wanting to pay $75 for it. I was even baffled when I went to pre-order it on Amazon like weeks ago, and it said it was like $70, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, there's always that sticker shock now. We're so used to 60 at this point.
I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm just really excited to finally play this game, and it's been worth it so far. It's a lot of fun. I just wish more people gave it a shot, but